Hello, good evening, everyone. I'm Barb Zimmerman, and I'm your kindergartner's teacher. Um, I have been teaching here in Novi for 22 years. This is my 22nd year. My experience has been with K through third. I went to Aquinas College for my undergraduate, and I have a master's in social science and a minor in reading. I got my master's at Oakland University, and my master's is in early childhood education. I have two children. They are grown. Jack's 25, and he is in the Navy, and Abby is 20, and she is presently studying media and graphic design at CMU. So I welcome you tonight. First, I want to tell you I like to call my class a given name. It makes a community in our classroom, and we feel like a little home away from home. So I do call our class Zenome, and um, I call our little ones and your learners Gnomesies. So I want to welcome you tonight. I want to give you a little insight into our curriculum for the kindergarten. I'm going to stop a minute here and I'm going to share my screen with you, and I'm going to share the information for in a slideshow presentation, and then you guys will be able to um, go through it at your leisure, but I will do some explaining along the way. So give me a moment. Well, welcome to kindergarten curriculum information. Um, the teachers here at Orchard Hills are Jennifer Egley, Laura Mardigian, Melissa Morse, and myself. We are a mixture of experience here. My experience as a kindergarten teacher was about 10 years, and then I was moved to first grade and then again to third grade, and now I've been moved back to kindergarten. So I'm really happy to be with our young learners. They're exciting, and I enjoy learning with them, and their enthusiasm is very catchy, and it gives me a desire to continue to learn, to assist with them, and invigorates my teaching styles. And so making a change is a wonderful experience for me. So our schedule is broken up into two blocks for the day. We have a morning block and an afternoon block. In the morning, the kids arrive. We do morning meeting, which gives them an opportunity to discuss a question of the day and their answer and their knowledge. It also gives them an opportunity to question others and to talk about things that they have in common. Its focus is really to um, give them an opportunity to build community. The next component we use is our English, our ELA block. And in that block, we do reading, writing, and we do many components within the reading and writing. The kids will explore phonics, and they will explore phonemic awareness. And at times throughout the week, they will do small group work within both reading and writing. We have an early lunch this year, and so our lunch is at 11:15. And then we come back from lunch and we do an interactive read out loud. A win time is called What I Need Time. That gives opportunities for kids that have needs to be visited by the ancillary staff and their needs addressed. Then after that, we do math and we have specials. I shared with you the special schedule. We have on Monday, we have media. So please make sure that on Monday morning in their backpack, their book they borrowed for the week is there so they can return it. Tuesday, we have art. Miss Samuels would like to request that if you have not sent in an art shirt, that would be appropriate, have it really labeled with their name and in a bag, and we make sure those get put on so they can be the little artists that they are without destroying any important clothes. On Wednesday, we have music. Thursday, we have gym, known as PE, physical education, so wearing their sneakers would be the best. And then, and Friday, we do rotate. Now, I know that seems hard to understand what to do on that one, but the kids, after a week or two, really do understand the rotation, and they'll be able to tell you. This week, we had Tuesday on Friday, Tuesday special on Friday, and so we had art twice this week. Last week, we had media twice in the week, and that will continue throughout the year. We do have breaks in the morning and in the afternoon. We not share snacks. We have snacks and recess in both of those time periods, along with in the afternoon block, we do try to have some free choice for the kids just to rest and relax. We know it's a long day. The first content area that I'd like to go over is reading. There really are three components of reading instruction. We have interactive read alouds, phonemic awareness, and phonics awareness. And then the third group is strategy groups and guided reading. Right now, interactive read alouds are being utilized. We've explored stories such as Chrysanthemum, and in that we read the story together, we stop and think along the way, we talk about what's happening, and then as a group, we develop a skill that I've introduced. With Chrysanthemum, we introduced the idea of beginning, middle, and end events, and the kids and I made a chart together. Phonemic awareness and phonics is a part of our literacy block. It focuses on letters, sounds, rhyming, blending, and segmenting. We are right now in our letter boot camp, learning the letters and the sounds. And today was our first day to learn that when we put sounds together, we make words. And that is called blending. And the kids are kind of impressed with themselves when they learn that three sounds make a word and they can write that word. Finally, we have strategy groups and guided reading. All kids come in at various levels with the ability to read. And so we will do some informal assessment and then we'll create groups, small groups, to help them develop their reading skills and support their knowledge of reading and then begin formal reading instruction. What does a guided reading and group strategy will look like? We'll work in small groups. The groups will be made of learners that are at the same level and or have the same basic needs. The groups with the children will be reading books or will be focusing on a skill. It could be a content skill such as developing developing sounds, putting words together. It could be recognition of events in a story. It could be character development. Those types of things we'll explore. They will be learning beginning reading concepts. They will learn reading strategies, and they will be learning sight words to help them build their general knowledge of the written word. 80% of the English language is written with sight words. So once the kids know them, it becomes far easier to become a skilled reader. What is phonics and our approach to spelling and word study? We have some components. So we have phonological awareness, and that is how words rhyme, what are beginning consonant sounds, how we can build word families, and blending sounds together and segmenting sounds to write words. All that plays into the understanding that reading is communication in written form. And that knowledge helps us understand word patterns and helps kids develop a nice vocabulary for reading. We begin the year with letter sounds and letter recognition. We learn that they have a name. We learn that they are called uppercase, lowercase. We learn the difference between vowels and consonants. And then we start to learn how to spell three-letter words. We start with a pattern called a CVC, which is a consonant, vowel, consonant, which means that the vowel in the middle will be a short vowel sound, and we teach that to the kids, and that's where we begin with them building words. We learn how to read words, sight words help for automaticity. We use letter sounds and sample spelling patterns to decode one-syllable words. Then we also learn early reading concepts. These are all problem-solving strategies for decoding unknown words and making sense of our text. We do have a formula, and I will be sharing those skills with you as we are developing them. Our end goal would be that your child would be an independent reader by the end of the year, and this would be a text that would be an example of what they're able to read. As you can see, there are some very common sight words in there, like here and I, said, and then some words that are supported by a illustration that's rich in detail so the kids can use the illustrations to help them read. Next, what can you do at home to help your child learn to be a skilled reader? Well, I like to say that as a professional basketball player, develops their skills, they do it through practice. That's their job. So if we want kids to become readers, then we need to be reading and cultivating the love of reading at home, in school, in the car, with grandparents, with friends. Reading happens all the time for us. So when you're reading with them, you should be reading nightly. They should be reading to you. They should be reading with you, and they should be reading by you. So let them hold the book as you read. Allow them to turn to pages. Invite them to read with you when you're reading. Let them finish the sentence if you're reading with you. If they know the words, it's okay. Let them point out the words that they know and begin reading them. By you modeling in front of your child reading and your reading skills, that demonstrates for them how skilled readers work. Encourage them to read the pictures and talk about them. Like I said, read daily, practice. It's a skill that needs to be developed. Our brains need to be developed through practice. So reading daily is a great skill to develop our cognition and our understanding of the world around us through print. Allow them to choose the books they like, talk about the books after reading to them, and be excited about reading with your child. It's contagious. Children are made readers on the laps of their parents is a great quote that we like to think as young teachers of readers. As I mentioned before, writing workshop is just the understanding of how our conversations or ideas and thoughts are put down on page through use of words. Reading and writing go hand in hand. It's a form of communication. So as we are learning the letter sounds and we are beginning to put them together and make words out of them, then you'll start to see children writing their ideas. We always begin with picture drawing, labeling pictures, letting them be successful with their attempts. We don't over criticize their writing. We don't always expect it to be correct. You'll see parts of words because initially children write beginning and ending sounds. The vowels become later. Um, so those are things you can do. The best topics are the topics that they choose because they're interested and then they have the details. to do that. We do writers workshop, and so as kids are developing, we will be assessing their writing, looking at it, and looking for the skills that they need so that we can form our instruction based on that and develop their skills through instruction. Groups are usually small group, and we have a whole process that we go through from brainstorming to generating ideas to drawing pictures and writing words into story form. And then finally, we celebrate everybody's attempts through the purpose of enjoying authors' work by sharing our work. Math is another subject we will explore. We do use everyday math as well as ABMR training that we have gotten. The concepts that the kids will be exploring are measuring, problem solving, 2 and 3D shapes. It is expected that the kids are able to count to 100 by ones and tens by the end of the year. They should be able to write their numbers to 30. They will be introduced to addition and subtraction, as well as using manipulatives to formulate those concepts and to help build the understanding. We do calendar every day. We play lots of math games. Fact fluency is important. And we will have a whole day meaning lesson followed by math workstations and then math small group, such as we've done in reading and writing based on their needs. Another subject we will explore is science. We are excited. This next week, we will be getting our tree, and the program that we use is FOSS Science, and they deliver a tree. And our first science is tree and weather, and we talk about what plants and animals need to survive. And then we will take that idea about plants and weather, and then we will study animals 2 by 2. And then our last focus is, and my light just went out, I will turn it back on. Hold on. Your little learners are amazed how that light keeps coming on and off. And our last unit of study is materials in motion. Your learner will be Your learner will be exposed, excuse me, to concept of social studies. Our units for our littlest learners are who I am, where I am, how do I get my needs and wants met, and how do I get along with others? So it's really that focus of themselves and then building out to the people around them. We do have report cards. They are standard-based report cards. They will come out 3 times a year. They are based on the Michigan State standards, and we mark them with a 3-2-1. If students are meeting all the needs, they would get a 3. If they're approaching the standard, they would receive a 2. And if they need assistance and areas of concern, they would receive a 1. And those come out, like I said, 3 times a year. They're electronically based, and when they're available, you would be able to activate them and open them up in PowerSchool. Why do we have 3 marking period? Why do we have 3 marking periods? Is because we use an MTS process and data digs. So we use the iReady testing, which your children have all completed already in both reading and math. And we do it 3 times a year, fall, winter, and spring. And then as we administer those 3 tests in conjunction with other assessments, both formative and summative, we look at their progress, and then we base our instruction um, on the needs that are presented. So that data time takes time, especially with our little ones, and it allows us to give them time to grow. It gives us time to look at the data that they are um, demonstrating and um, giving them the direct instruction that they need to improve their ability based on the most recent results. So that's why we do 3 card marking periods. Assessment information. So that's a big idea, and it's very big for especially to think that your kindergarten is going to be assessed. Um, but it is a lot of it is informal. There are the 3 times that we take iReady through the year, but the kids are great because the iReady is all done on their iPads, and they were very successful in utilizing the system and demonstrating what they know. So, how will we evaluate your students? We'll use formative assessment and summative assessment. Formative means formal, informal assessment, and others are summative assessment are standard assessments based on where kindergartners should be at this year based on the district criteria. Report cards will reflect the priority standards and will be completed at the end of each trimester. We will host conferences twice a year, one time in the fall and another time in the spring. And not sure yet how those are going to be delivered. In the past 2 years, we've done Zoom meetings, Zoom conferences, but that's a time to discuss your students' progress, their strengths as a learner, and their areas of need. And once again, they'll take the iReady online assessment 3 times this year. Our staff has worked hard. We have a PBIS group of staff members that have revamped and looked at our behavior expectations. And these are the 3 rules that will guide our kindergarten classroom, as well as the 3 rules that all children at Orchard Hills will follow this year. So the first one is be responsible. The second one is be empathetic. And the third one is be safe. As a class, we have discussed all these types of behaviors or choices we should or shouldn't do that go underneath the 3 big rules for Orchard Hills. And up here we have our paw promise, and it is to take care of yourself, others, in our community. That is our promise, and that is how we um, work through the day, and we honor each other within our classroom and our community. So these are some examples. So for being responsible, here's an example of what we teach the kindergartners. We keep our hands and feet to ourselves. It's responsible, but it also is being safe. When we're empathetic, we take care of ourselves, we understand others' needs, and we understand our community needs, and doing our work is being responsible. One of the processes that we do use when we do our data digs and our MTSS process is the opportunity to give those kids that need extra services based on their data, the opportunity to be a part of that. So one of our first services is our ELD service. It's delivered by Mrs. Ganesh, and she is our English language development teacher, and her direct services will be during win time, which was on our schedule. Win time, once again, is what I need time, and it's based on each individual learner. That means that if your learner was going to receive ELD services or reading intervention or math intervention, they would be pulled into their classes during win time, and our classes within their regular classroom, we do not do any new teaching, no new concepts. We work on the skills that the kids need within our own classroom as the other students are getting their needs met through other services. You will be contacted if your child will receive direct services, both in the ELD program and or in reading intervention or math intervention, special education services. Um, those teachers will reach out to each of you if those services are needed, or if you have questions, contact me and let me know, and we will help facilitate your understanding of the special education system within our school and our district, and decide whether or not your child has specific needs. Um, Mrs. Gunas makes her decision about who is to receive ELD services based on a national test called the WIDA test. It is given in last spring. And then for our new incoming kindergartners, they are in the process of being um, assessed to see if there would be a candidate for ELD services. ELD services are usually only given to students that speak dual languages at home. If you were concerned about that, please reach out and I can put you in contact with Mrs. Gunash, and she is more than willing to help you through that process of understanding how her program is delivered and how a child is assessed and placed if needed. So I want to end tonight with a big thank you. I know it's a lot. One of the things I like to teach my kids here in class is that we work and then we play. And so it is a big day for them. So lots of rest, good sleeping, good food, healthy snacks are wonderful things for them to have on a consistent basis. It helps them get through the day. And believe me, in about a month and a half, you won't see your tired little ones coming home. They'll adjust and they'll be ready to come to school and so enthused to learn. So, if you have any information you need to share with me, please reach out. Here is my email. And here's my email. And I would like to ask you to reach out with information, questions, comments, concerns. The kids, because we have an early lunch and then a late special, I usually don't get to my email and responding until later in the afternoon when the kids are special. So if there are appointments or if there is a change in their pickup, I'd love to encourage you to call the office because I don't always get that information. Through my email, and the office is very good. Mrs. Lauer and Mrs. Schaefer are very good at making sure that we have that information. And if there are changes to their pickup schedules or they need to leave for a doctor's appointment. So I wish you the best of nights. Um, I love and I am been very impressed with the learning and the desire of and the enthusiasm of your young learners. I fondly call them my nomies, and we will just continue to make this the best learning year for your kindergarten. I wish you a good night again and enjoy the changing weather. Bye.